The head of this family, the person who inspires us all, is the chairman of our board of trustees. He is one of the most generous and one of the most positive, can-do people that you will ever meet. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, my friend, Dr. Allan Parnell.
Well, how could you not be inspired and want to be part of Lindsey Wilson? I was thinking when I was preparing my talk, how can I tell my life story and not sound like I'm bragging? I don't want to do that because I've had an incredible life. Having left the little country down here, and it's been amazing. I was to say this, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. It reminds me of a story where this minister got up to preach one Sunday morning to a full house. Church was packed. He said, today, we're going to speak on perfection. He said, there's only been one man that's ever been perfect. To illustrate my point, if anybody here has been perfect, stand up. Well, to his amazement, this guy in the back stood up. He stood back and said, sir, are you saying you're perfect? He said, oh, no, sir. He said, I'm not perfect. I'm standing up for my wife's first husband, said he was. And he said, I wish you hadn't died. Well, they say wisdom comes with age, and I guess I'm of age. I should learn a few things. And I've learned one thing: you don't take a sleeping pill and an X-Lax at the same time. Well, I grew up about 10 miles south of here. There was 7 of us. We grew up without electricity, without running water. I guess you could say we had running water, ran out of a gully down the way a bit. And we went to a one-room schoolhouse for 8 years. You got to hear the first grade taught 8 years. And by the time you got through the 8th grade, you know, you could have taught the first grade. But anyway, I came to Columbia, went to Columbia High School in Adair County. As a matter of fact, I see some people here. Lynn over here was one of the first seniors out of Adair County High. And I left Adair County High and went to General Electric, went to work on the assembly line there at GE. And it didn't take me very long to know that I did not want to work on the assembly line. If you ever worked on the assembly line, you've got something that's moving, and you have to move with it. You've got so much time. A bell rings, you run to the bathroom, get a Coke, 10 minutes, the bell rings, the line starts up, and the bell rings, you go take a 30-minute lunch. And I said, man, I'm not going to do this. He said, well, if you want to work up here, you got to have an education. You got to have more than a high school. So I went to night school, and a little bit later on, I was able to get into a 3-year General Electric management program. Graduated from that. All the guys in there were industrial engineers. They were smart. I was a dumb one, but I made it through there anyway. And soon after that, I was promoted and ended up being over the shipping and receiving and all the materials that the building that burned down about 4 years ago. I spent 17 years in that building. So I know about hard work, and I want to tell you something. You young people, if you can believe it and dream it, you can achieve it. Because I'm a product of a very poor situation here in Adair County. And I'm proud to say that I'm from Adair County. I love being from Adair County. Well, after so many years at GE, I had spent 20 years there, I decided that I wanted to do something different. And a lot of people, you know, in life, you want to choose to do something different. Reminds me of a story of this old farmer. He had never flown in an airplane. He was getting on up in age, and he thought, well, I'd like for the wife and I to go fly in an airplane. So he goes over to the local airport. He talks to the pilots that have never flown, like to fly. The pilot said, we can fix you up. He said, we'd be glad to take you up here. How much is it? He said, $500. The old farmer's a little tight. He said, man, I didn't want to buy the plane. I just want to take a little ride. And started to walk away. The pilot wasn't to be outdone. He said, wait a minute here, old timer, come back. I'll tell you what I'll do. He said, if you can keep your mouth shut and don't mention a word, he said, I'll fly you for free. The old farmer knew if there's one thing to do, to keep his mouth shut. So they got in the plane and took off, and what he didn't realize, this was a stunt pilot. He flew that plane upside down, did the barrel roll, the loop-de-loop. He finally gave up, almost shook the wings off, came down, looked back and said, well, old timer, I got to hand it to you. He said, you didn't make a sound. Said, it won't cost you a penny. The old farmer said, young man, I got it handed to you. He said, you almost got me there when the old lady fell out. But after I decided that I wanted to try something new after 20 years, I decided, I had my real estate license, I thought I'd sell real estate. And I found out in sales you have to be pretty quick on your feet if you want to think. You know, I remember this story. Old boy went in the grocery store, walked in the produce department, got a head of lettuce, walked up to the boy and said, I want to buy half of a lettuce. The guy said, we can't sell you a half of lettuce. Well, that's all I want, a half of lettuce. He said, where's the produce manager? So the boy took the lettuce back there, said to the produce manager, said, some fool wants to buy half of a lettuce. He looked around, the guy followed him and said, this good man here wants to buy the other half. Well, I was in not very long into selling real estate. That wasn't my deal. You know, you got to be cut out to do something. So I didn't do too well in real estate. So I went back in manufacturing, which, you know, I was qualified to do. And plant came in from California. They wanted a plant manager to run the plant, and I was fortunate enough to get that job. But after about 2 years, we made fireplace inserts. They went into new housing construction. This was in the late 70s. If you remember, interest rate went up to about 20–21%. So they quit building houses. They didn't need the product I was making. So then I said, well, I got to do something else. So I saw this ad where a guy needed a salesman for the trucking industry, wanted experience. So I applied and I said, look, I can sell. I've never sold trucks, but I know how to do it. I said, I used to be at GE and I was over all the shipping and receiving. I said, I can do it. He said, I believe you can. He gave me the job. Well, I did well. That was my forte, and I did really well. I ended up being the president of that company in about 3 years. Well, the president reneged on his commitment to me, so I said, well, I'm going to leave you, and I took another job as president for a company out of Detroit. After about 1.5 years building that company up, I got, you know, Dow, Corn and Freight, Ford Motor from GE, and built the company up. This guy, he kind of did the same thing, reneged on the commitment he made to me. So I said to my wife, Bonnie, you know what? I think I'll just start my own company. So I did. So I started my own trucking company, and I was a little naive cash flow. So it didn't take me long till I ran out of money. I applied for SBA loan. If any of you ever done an SBA loan, I'm telling you what, they'll take blood from you just about. Well, a year had gone by, and they kept giving me excuses. Well, we can't give you a loan. It's going to take something else. So I finally one day I was desperate. I think this is about 1990. I said, I've got to have this loan. They said, well, I'll tell you what, the loan committee's going to meet this Friday, and we'll decide whether or not you'll get the loan. So prior to that Friday on a Sunday afternoon, and I don't believe in being lucky, and I don't believe in coincidence, but I believe in the power of prayer. So my brother and I went downtown to the Citizens Fidelity Bank, Fields Jefferson. We walked around that 7 times, just like Joshua did Jericho when the walls came tumbling down. And we were just silent, praying that God give me favor. Well, we got a phone call on the Friday that said, your loan's been approved. Now, some people say, well, that was just going to happen. I'll tell you, had I been the loan manager, I would have turned me down because I didn't have the collateral to get that loan. But I got the loan, and that's kind of how we started off. And I was fortunate when we started the company. My wife did the payroll, and my daughter Cindy, who incidentally is a Lincoln grad. She was homecoming queen. She was Miss Lake Cumberland and a runner-up in Miss Kentucky pageant. So I get to hug the CEO every day as I go in. I'm still working at my age, and I don't want to give that up. You know, you people are so incredible here. You remind me of a story where this guy ran off into this ravine with his truck. He didn't know what he was going to do to get out. An old farmer came up the road with a mule. And he said, you got problems here? He said, yeah, I don't know how to get my truck out. I said, well, Lord, I think old Joe here can pull you out. He said, I don't believe old Joe can do it. He said, I think he can. They hooked old Joe to it. And the guy, old farmer said, get up, Joe, get up, Jack. Joe, Jack, pull, Joe, pull, Jack. And he pulled him out. And the guy said, that's amazing. How come you kept saying, come on, Joe, come on, Jack? He said, well, old Joe's blind. And he says, as long as he thinks he's got somebody else helping him to pull, he's willing to pull. And I think that's the way you are here. As long as you've got other people pitching in, you're willing to do it. You are the most incredible people. You know, for 3 years now, I've given a chair challenge. And I don't think we can raise it higher than that, Kathy. I mean, we started out, I think I said I'll give $25,000. We get 500 donors in a 48-hour period. Well, you did it. And the next year, I think we did, I don't know, 50,000. You did it. Last year, I said, well, I'll give $100,000 if we can get 20 donors. I mean, $2,000. Well, 1,500. 1,500, we ended up 2,000. 48 hours, we raised almost $500,000. You all are incredible. I've never seen anything like that. But let me tell you something about life. I don't want to sound prudish, but I do believe in the power of prayer. And about 8 years ago, I bought this little smart car. You know what a smart car is? A little car, you know, it's not too big. My wife said I was having a second childhood, but I wanted it. I thought they were cute. I bought one of the first ones in Louisville, a little convertible. I decided I'd drive that thing to Florida. So, well, you know, those things are run. I drove it. I have a condo in Florida, so I drove that car down there, and I made it in 14 hours. Now, you got a time of land in all these places, but it's 900 miles. And you can do the math on it. It's almost 70, average, almost 70 miles an hour. And I would pass people with that little smart car, and it'd aggravate them. And they would pass me, and on up the road, you'd see the lights going, and the police had pulled them over. And my brother said, you're causing all these people to get tickets. But nevertheless, I made it in 14 hours. Now, about a year and a half later, I decided that I was going to take my Lexus to Florida. Well, I drove the Lexus down there. It took me 14 hours. I made it in 14 hours. The Lexus made it 14 hours in the little smart car. But the Lexus was such a smoother ride. And I think as we go through life, sometimes we take the rough way of going through life, and there's an easier way to do it. Let me, and I can tell your age here just a minute. How many of you remember the rabbit ears on the TV? Oh, a lot of them. Before you had cable. Well, you know, you get up and you say, honey, turn it a little to the left. No, a little bit more, and you get that picture coming in just right. And while you're up, change the station. Well, that kind of dates you, doesn't it? Well, you know, if the antennas, the rabbit ears we used to call them, wasn't turned just right, you would not get a good reception. And you know, when you go through life, if you want power in your prayer life, you can't be harboring ill will towards somebody, jealousy, or involved in some dishonest scheme. If you want to have a prayer that's answered, you've got to kind of stay right with the Lord. See, He knows your thoughts, and you can't just say, because I'm not thinking about it, He doesn't know about it. So we all should strive to live a good life. And I put everything that I've done, I have been so blessed with the company. Back in 2000, I decided that I was going to sell my company. Now, I could make enough money. I told my wife we could really live good. Well, the thing fell through. So about 6 years later, an NFL player came along. He retired from the Buffalo Bills. And he said, I'd like to buy your company. He offered me 7 times more than I tried to sell it for in 2000. Now, this is 6 years later. Well, it turned out that he couldn't come up with 25% of what he offered me, which was a pretty substantial offer. And I wouldn't carry the 25%. So ended up not selling it. Last year, I had an offer that I turned down 50 times more than my original offer. It just tells you what the Lord has done. I give the Lord credit. Sometimes I go in, and we're probably the largest privately owned trucking company in the state of Kentucky. Now, you know there's a lot of big companies, but I'm talking about privately held. We have a wonderful company, and we honor the Lord. We operate on the golden rule. So anyway, it reminds me of a story that this old boy brought this Porsche automobile, and he was trying it out one day and got it on the highway doing 100 miles an hour, and he looked up and the police lights would come behind him. He thought he'd have a little fun, so he goosed it up to 125. To his amazement, the cop was right behind him. He finally got it up to 140, and the cop, those lights was right behind him. He said, well, gee, this guy's serious. I better pull this thing over. So he pulled over, and this cop came up red-faced. He said, in my 25 years as a police officer, I've never chased anybody doing 140 miles an hour. I said, I'll tell you one thing. If you can give me some excuse I've never heard before, I'll let you go. If not, I'm putting you in handcuffs and taking you to jail right now. The old boy looked at him and said, well, you know, he said, 2 months ago, my wife ran away with a policeman, and when I saw those lights, I thought that was him bringing her back to me. Started out, the first time I did anything for Lindsey Wilson, I bought a brick. There's a brick out there that has Dr. Mercer's name on it. I thought, well, I should honor Dr. Mercer. I was named after him. He was good to me, gave me some opportunities I never had before. And then I would see a little something about Lindsey Wilson. I'd send in a little something. One day I went to see Dr. Gooden, his cardiologist in Louisville. And next thing I know, he's calling Dr. Lucky, and Dr. Lucky's called me and said, I'd like to come see you. So we chatted a little bit, and I think I gave you a $1,000 check. That's a start, anyway. So the rest of it, Dr. Lucky a little bit later on came to see me down in Florida and spent a night with me. And incidentally, Dr. Lucky and I got in a little smart car and tooed around. Our wives were out shopping, so they only left us a small car. But anyway, the rest is kind of history. I have been blessed incredibly, more than I could ever expect or imagine, and that's scripture, isn't it? And I've got an incredible family. All of my siblings, 5 brothers and 1 sister, are still living. 93, 91, sister just turned 90. She works 2 days a week at an auction house. And I'm reminded of the story of these 2 boys were friends. They grew up and grew apart, went their separate ways, and they ran into each other later on. One of the boys was driving a Mercedes. He said, man, what kind of job you got? You driving a Mercedes? He said, I don't have that kind of job. He said, my brother gave it to me. And the boy looked at him, he said, I wish I could be a brother like that. Isn't that amazing? And I've had the privilege of being a brother like that. I've taken my siblings to all 50 states and done a lot in between. And I thank God that He's enabled me to do that. And I can tell you, my wife and I, we love Lindsey Wilson College. And we're going to continue to support, and I guess it's public record what we do for Lindsey Wilson. That's all right, but we've just begun on what we're going to do for Lindsey Wilson. I'll close with this story. This devout Catholic family had this girl became of courting age. And to their dismay, she started dating this old boy that was a Baptist. Her father said, daughter, how could you do that? Grandfather came over from Italy. We've been devout Catholic, and you're dating a Baptist boy. She said, Dad, he's cute, and I really like him. He said, well, I'll tell you what, will you try to convert him to become a Catholic? She said, I'll work on it. About 3 weeks gone by, and they were having dinner one night. I said, how are you coming along there with Robert? You about to convert him to become a Catholic? She said, Dad, I think I oversold him. What do you mean you oversold him? Said, he wants to become a priest. In the 12th chapter of Luke, the 21st verse, a person is a food to store up earthly wealth and not have a rich relationship with God. And then in Proverbs, give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. That's scripture, it's not me saying that. And I can tell you, in my life, the more I give, the more I have. I cannot believe that I was a little raggedy boy going to a one-room schoolhouse, and the Lord has blessed me so. And I got to say this, you people are phenomenal. You are really something, the way you give and the way you meet the need at Lindsey Wilson College. And I want to thank you because I know that you're going to continue to do so. So thank you so much, and God bless.